Food processing technology, in which raw animal or raw plant food ingredients are converted into specific foods for consumption, has had a long history. For thousands of years, people have been salting, drying, smoking, pickling, and chilling their foods. Canned and frozen foods are fairly recent development of the food processing industry.
We simply cannot live without food. And the need for a continuous food supply has led to the development of the modern, organized food industry that feeds the world. So, how did this industry arise? In Europe, during the mid-1700s, machines and power tools replaced the crude and simple hand tools used in agriculture and manufacture. This advance allowed for the development of large-scale industrial production of consumer goods, and had profound economic and societal effects. This industrial revolution had a bearing on the development of the food industry as well. Also in Europe, scientific agriculture, involving crop rotation and improved soil fertilization, meshed with improved livestock feeding and management. More advances in genetics and the use of chemical fertilizers further expanded agricultural output. Town grew into cities and small path transitioned into roads and railways. These paved the way for greater goods transport and marketing opportunities. Later, in the decades of 1800s and early 1900s, the urbanization and industrialization of Europe and America allowed the rise in the standard of living for more people, who were then better able to feed themselves and their families.
Let's dwell into the history of canning. Initially, it was thought that air was limiting shelf life of heated food. Therefore, cooked meat were well preserved for a limited period, if they were covered with a layer of fat. In 1752, it was a Frenchman by the name of Nicolas Appert who combined the idea of eliminating the air with the use of glass bottles that were then heated. He placed foods such as cooked meats, vegetables and even milk into glass bottles that were then closed off and heated to drive off air. Appert learnt the hard ways, through a series of food spoilage mishaps, that standardized heating steps are necessary for different size of the cans. More importantly, it was learnt that it was the heat that killed the spoilage bacteria and thus prevented spoilage, not driving off the air as originally thought. In 1809, Appert invented a vacuum bottling techniques that would supply food for French troops. So, Nicolas Appert is the father of canning, even though his invention was not as practical due to the nature of the glass, heavy, fragile and liable to explode under internal pressure.
It was an Englishman by the name of Brian Donkin who took the next essential step to replace the glass bottle with tin can. In the year 1812, canning industry was born, with beef, carrots, stew and soups were preserved using tin cans. With the commencement of can-making operations in 1813, Britain was able to feed her navy. Meanwhile, in the United States, Gail Borden developed canned version of milk with added sugar to extend shelf life. And by the end of 1800, Massachusetts Institute of Technology created a chart showing the effective pasteurization times and temperature for a wide variety of foods. The positive results of the canning revolution have provided consumers with convenience, low cost, variety and safety.
Before refrigeration, ice houses were used to maintain a supply of ice. An ice house was a heavily insulated room with a carpeted floor and insulated roof, designed to store blocks of natural ice, obtained from cold northern lakes. By the mid-1800s, ice-making technology had arrived, and ice machines were patented. An improved compressor designed by Scotsman James Harrison allowed for the development of an ice factory and a refrigerating machine. With manufactured ice, fishing industry flourished. By late 1800s, poultry, meat, and fish had all been preserved by freezing.
So, food industry is vital to the economy. It has been providing nutritious food to the public. As of today, latest technologies have been applied to produce minimally processed foods, non-thermally processed food, such as high-pressure processing technologies, and various technologies to produce foods for health benefits beyond nutrition. In developed countries, food industries remain as the largest manufacturing industries.